Okay guys, we're going to start an introductory lesson about positive and negative numbers. So this is just in your workbook on page 541. So if you need to pause the video and go there, then please do that. It says we're going to be learning about positive numbers and negative numbers. So here is a good place that tells us a little bit more about positive and negative numbers. Positive numbers have a value greater than 0. Negative numbers have a value less than 0. Every positive number and negative number has an opposite. Opposite numbers are numbers that are the same distance from 0 but in opposite directions. So an example would be 2, and its opposite is -2 because they are both 2 spaces from 0 or 2 units from 0 but in opposite directions. The whole numbers and all their opposites are called integers. So it's a key word here. And then also we have this other system of numbers that we call rational numbers. Every integer is a rational number, which means it can be written as a fraction. Okay. And then we're going to focus on the number line when we're talking about positive and negative numbers. We're going to do the horizontal number line going this way and the vertical number line going this way. And then they're just showing you some opposite numbers here. So positive 1/2 has an opposite number of negative 1/2. And then we can represent those numbers on a vertical number line. Okay, next. Thinking about positive and negative numbers around you. So just kind of take a look and this is one way we would see positive and negative numbers in the real world, and then you could make a little list down here about where else you've heard or seen positive and negative numbers. But we're going to skip that one for the video, but you can pause it and write a few ideas down. Okay, these are the lesson notes. So Jabria and Sophia get off the bus at the 7th Street bus stop. Jabria walks 3 blocks to the right and Sophia walks 3 blocks to the left. Think of the bus stop as 0 on the number line. Jabria ends up 3 units to the right of 0. Draw tick marks, arrows, and a point on the number line to show where Sophia ends up. So Sophia is walking 3 blocks to the left. We're starting at the bus stop, which is representing 0, and then we're going to draw some tick marks and numbers. So below 0, we've got -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, and she's going 3 units to the left. So she's ending up at -3. Whenever you're drawing a point on the number line, it has to literally be on the number line. That's an important part of it that 6th graders often forget. Okay. In problem 1, Jabria and Sophia walk in opposite directions from the bus stop. Opposite numbers are the same distance from 0 on the number line, but on opposite sides of 0. So this is a key word we're going to keep hearing, and you're going to get asked about it a lot. So you want to highlight that or get that really in your brain. The next question, are numbers to the right of 0 on the number line less or greater than 0? Okay, so to the right is going this way. So if you're going to the right on the number line, those numbers are all greater than 0. I'm going to write that. Next. Numbers greater than 0 are positive numbers. Numbers less than 0 are negative numbers. The number 0 is neither positive or negative. Look at the number line. How are negative numbers similar to positive numbers, and how are they different? So pause the video here and give it a good thought, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so hopefully you've got some ideas. I'm going to write down a few. I'm going to say negative numbers use the same numerals positive. But have a minus sign in front. That's one way we can think of it. And then another point I want you to notice is that positive numbers, and I apologize for the tapping sound, are to the right of 0. Negative numbers are to the left of 0. All right, pause here and make sure you get this written down. I'm going to keep going when you've got that. All right, and I would like it if you kind of went through these a little bit ahead of me and then checked your work. If you're feeling really confused, though, you can just stay with me. So, number 3, you can write a positive number 2 ways. You can write a positive sign in front of the number, or you can write the number without the sign. So, a plus 3 means positive 3, or just 3. Okay, that's another example of invisible math, where we don't write the positive sign. It's just assumed positive. We know it's there, we just don't have to write it. What are 2 ways to write positive 40 then? We could either write it with a plus 40, or we could just write it as 40. All right, to indicate the opposite of a number, use a negative sign. For example, negative 2 means the opposite of 2, or negative 2. I guess I should say minus 2 at first. So use a negative sign to write negative 3. So we'd write that. Negative 3 is like minus 3. Minus 3 means the opposite of a positive 3. Okay, they're both 3 units away from 0. Negative 3 is to the left, and positive 3 is to the right of 0. And then this is going to be negative 5, which would mean the opposite of negative 5. So the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Okay, so we've got negative 5, but if we're asking right here for the opposite of negative 5, it's positive 5. So sometimes we just say the opposite of the opposite is positive. Okay, so you can think of that negative sign as an opposite sign. All right, moving on. On a vertical number line, positive numbers are above 0 and negative numbers are below 0. So we talked about on this horizontal number line up here, positive numbers are to the right, negative numbers to the left. So when we're talking about vertical number line, we've got positive numbers above 0 and negative numbers below 0, which probably is familiar when you're thinking about thermometers or the temperature. Okay, a thermometer is like a vertical number line. Complete the scale on each thermometer. So you have to notice what's counting by. The big dashes are positive, are tens. Sorry, we've got positive 20, positive 30, positive 40. And down here we're going, this is 30 tick marks away from 0, but it's below, so it's a negative 40. The same thing over here, 20, 30, 40. We're going to pull in our 0 here. Negative 10, negative 30, negative 40. All right, then we're going to answer some questions. Got this one. On the Celsius thermometer, on a Celsius thermometer, 0 represents the freezing point of water. Does the thermometer on the left show a temperature less than or greater than the freezing point of water? Okay, this would be this one it's talking about. And that's one thing about the Celsius. It's kind of nice. 0 is the freezing point. So is this going to be greater than or less than the freezing point of water. We say greater because it's above 0. The thermometer on the right. Does the thermometer on the right show less than or greater than the freezing point, which is 0? If we're down here, so we're below 0, be less than. Okay. And then if you notice, these are showing positive 20 degrees and a negative 20 degrees. Why do 20 degrees Celsius and negative 20 degrees Celsius represent opposite temperatures? And you have to remember what we said about opposites. Opposites are the same distance from 0, but on opposite sides of 0. So we would say 20 degrees Celsius and negative 20 degrees Celsius are opposite temperatures because they are both 20 units away from 0, but on opposite sides. Okay, so you might pause that and write that down. All right, when you're ready, number 6. Is negative 25 a positive number or a negative number? What is the opposite of negative 25 or minus 25? How do you know? So I kind of gave it away. But minus 25 is a negative number. Okay, and then what is its opposite? The opposite of minus 25 or negative 25 is positive 25, or I can write it like that, or I can just write it like that. And then again, how do we know? They are both 25 units from 0. And opposite sides of 0. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there, and then if you're ready to move on, you can move on to the next video.